Dr. Maya Chen never expected to find proof of alien life in a chunk of volcanic rock. She had spent the last 5 years studying unusual mineral formations in Earth's deepest volcanic vents, searching for signs of extreme environment microorganisms. Instead, she found something that shouldn't exist, a perfectly geometrical structure embedded in rock that was millions of years old. "This isn't natural," she muttered, adjusting her electron microscope. The structure was barely visible to the naked eye, but under magnification, it revealed an intricate lattice of what appeared to be engineered nanomaterials. More concerning was the fact that it was still active, emitting minute but detectable quantum signals. She was about to contact her research supervisor when her lab's security systems suddenly activated. Red warning lights flashed as heavily armed soldiers poured into the room, led by a tall woman wearing a colonel's insignia. "Dr. Chen," the colonel said, her voice sharp but controlled. "I'm Colonel Sarah Martinez, Earth Defense Command. That object you're studying has just triggered every classified detection system we have. Please step away from the microscope." Maya didn't move. "This is a civilian research facility. You have no jurisdiction here." "We do when you've discovered an alien monitoring device," Martins replied, moving closer to examine the rock sample. "One that's been dormant for approximately 2.3 million years, until your analysis accidentally reactivated it." Maya's scientific skepticism warred with the evidence before her. "Alien? That's impossible. We would have detected." "Nothing," Martinez interrupted. "Because they didn't want us to. Dr. Chen, what you found isn't just proof of alien life. It's proof that advanced civilizations have been watching Earth for millions of years. And now, they know we found them." As if on cue, the quantum signals from the device intensified. Maya's instruments showed energy patterns she'd never seen before, forming complex mathematical sequences. "It's transmitting," Martins said grimly. She spoke into her comm unit. "Control, this is Martinez. Implementation of First Contact Protocol Alpha is now in effect. I say again, First Contact Protocol Alpha is active." "What exactly does that mean?" Maya asked, her scientific curiosity overriding her initial fear. Martinez's expression was grim. "It means that somewhere out there, an advanced civilization just received confirmation that humanity has reached a technological level they consider concerning." The colonel's comm unit crackled with urgent reports. Similar devices were being discovered worldwide, hidden in ancient rock formations, deep-sea trenches, and even orbital debris. Each one had activated simultaneously, creating a network of quantum signals that encircled the planet. "They've been waiting," Martins explained, "watching our development for millions of years. This network was designed to activate when we reached a specific technological threshold. The question is, why?" Maya studied the data streaming across her monitors. The quantum signals weren't just transmission bursts. They were carrying complex information. These patterns, they're not random. They're assessment protocols. "We're being tested," Martinez nodded grimly. "Exactly. And based on similar discoveries in our archaeological record, we're not the first species they've evaluated. We found evidence of civilizations that failed their tests, civilizations that no longer exist. But why wait millions of years just to test us?" Maya asked, her mind racing with possibilities. "Why not contact us directly?" "Because they're not interested in communication," Martins replied. "They're interested in containment. Think about it. A species advanced enough to create monitoring devices that can survive millions of years, sophisticated enough to remain undetected until precisely the right moment. They're not looking for allies. They're looking for threats." Maya's hands flew across her keyboard, analyzing the quantum signal structure. "These patterns, they're not just measuring our technology. They're measuring our potential, our rate of advancement, our ability to adapt and innovate." She looked up at Martinez. "They're afraid of us." "With good reason," Martins said, a slight smile playing at her lips. "Because while they've been watching us, we've been watching them. Those classified detection systems I mentioned. We developed them by studying fragments of their technology we found over the years. Every time they planted a monitoring device, they unknowingly gave us another piece of their puzzle. The quantum signals suddenly shifted, forming new patterns. Maya's translation algorithms began decoding them. Classification, containment species, threat level, UNDEFINED, immediate evaluation required. And so it begins, Martine said, watching the message scroll across the screen. Humanity's first official contact with advanced alien civilization won't be a greeting. It's going to be a test, one we can't afford to fail. Maya studied the alien device, its perfect geometric structure, a testament to technology millions of years beyond human understanding. But instead of fear, she felt a surge of determination. Then let's show them exactly what humanity can do when we're underestimated. Above Earth, invisible to conventional detection, vast ships emerged from quantum space. The test administrators had arrived, ready to evaluate humanity's worthiness to exist among the stars. They expected to find a primitive species barely worth their attention. They were about to learn their first lesson about humans. Nothing about Earth's children was primitive, and nothing about their potential could be contained. The alien vessel materialized above Earth's atmosphere exactly 3 days after the monitoring devices activated. It hummed there like a crystalline shard, its surface refracting sunlight in impossible ways. Dr. Maya Chen watched it through the reinforced windows of the hastily established First Contact Research Center, her mind still struggling to process how quickly everything had changed. Their ship's quantum signature matches the monitoring devices perfectly, she said, reviewing the data on her tablet. Same civilization, same technology base, just scaled up to an incredible degree. Colonel Martinez stood beside her, coordinating with military commands worldwide through her neural interface. They're broadcasting something, a signal directed at every major population center simultaneously. The message appeared on screens across the globe, translated into all Earth languages. Assessment Phase E1 begins. Prepare for initial evaluation. Within hours, mysterious objects began appearing in research facilities worldwide. Each was a perfect sphere, about the size of a basketball, with surfaces that seemed to shift between solid and liquid states. Instructions accompanied each object. So leave that P uses L. Demonstrate your understanding. Maya studied the sphere in her lab, her instruments providing contradictory readings. It's like they're giving us an entrance exam, she mused. But these devices operate on principles that violate our understanding of physics. That's the point, a new voice said. Dr. Raj Patel, Earth's leading quantum physicist, had just arrived from CERN. They're not testing our current knowledge. They're testing how quickly we can learn. The next week became a blur of intense research and revolutionary discoveries. The spheres weren't just puzzles. They were teaching tools, each one containing principles of advanced science embedded in their structure. But the aliens had clearly designed them expecting humans to take years, if not decades, to grasp even the basic concepts. They didn't expect what happened next. Look at this pattern, Maya said, pointing to a holographic display. The sphere's quantum structure isn't random. It's a language, a physical representation of mathematical principles. And it's teaching us even when we fail. Raj nodded excitedly. Every failed attempt provides new data. The sphere adapts, adjusts its responses based on our approaches. But here's the fascinating part. It's not just teaching us about their technology. It's teaching us about them. What do you mean? Martins asked, joining them after another round of security briefings. Maya pulled up a comparison chart. Their technology is perfect, too perfect. Every quantum state, every energy pattern follows exact mathematical progressions. There's no variation, no adaptation, no evolution, Raj finished. Their technology hasn't fundamentally changed in millions of years. They achieved a level of advancement and just stopped innovating. Martinez's eyes narrowed. That's why they're so concerned about us. Human technology is messy, imperfect, but it's constantly evolving. We don't just copy designs, we improve them, combine them in new ways. The alien sphere pulsed with new patterns, responding to their latest test. But instead of following the expected problem-solving path, Maya had reconfigured their quantum sensors to analyze the sphere's internal structure itself. They didn't hide their core technology because they didn't expect us to look for it, she explained. Every puzzle they've given us is built using the same basic principles. They're accidentally teaching us everything about their civilization. Raj's fingers flew across his holographic interface. And because their technology never evolved, they have no experience with systems that can adapt and change. They don't understand unpredictability. How long before they realize their assessment is backfiring? Martins asked. An alert flashed across their screens. The alien ship was broadcasting again. Assessment phase E1 completed. Wardies ULTs. ANOMALOUS. Proceeding to phase 2. New spheres appeared in the labs, more complex than the first. But now humanity had a crucial advantage. They weren't just solving the puzzles, they were learning about the psychology and limitations of their advanced observers. They think they're testing us, Maya said, already beginning to decode the new sphere's structure. But they don't realize they've created a recursion loop. Every test gives us more insight into their technology, their thinking, their weaknesses. Martinez watched as teams worldwide collaborated, sharing discoveries and building upon each other's innovations. Humanity wasn't just passing the aliens' tests, they were reverse engineering advanced technology that had remained unchanged for millions of years, finding ways to improve it that the original creators had never imagined. How long before they realized their mistake? Raj asked. They already suspect something's wrong, Martins replied. These anomalous results are just the beginning. The real question is, what will they do when they finally understand that their containment protocol has become a technological liberation? Above Earth, the crystalline ship continued its silent observation, its perfect systems processing test results that defied all historical patterns. The advanced civilization that had watched humanity for millions of years was about to learn a harsh lesson. Sometimes, the most dangerous species aren't the ones with the most advanced technology, but the ones who can learn, adapt, and evolve the fastest. Phase 2 was just beginning, and humanity was already preparing for what would come after, when the tests would end, and the real challenge would begin. The alien assessment spheres were multiplying. Each research facility now housed dozens of them, each more complex than the last. But Dr. Maya Chen was no longer interested in solving their puzzles. She was busy taking them apart. "You're doing what?" Colonel Martinez demanded, striding into the lab where Maya and Raj had disassembled several spheres into their component parts. "Breaking their rules," Maya replied without looking up from her work. "They expected us to treat these devices like black boxes, trying to solve them from the outside. Instead, we're learning how they're built." Raj gestured to a holographic display showing the sphere's internal structure. "Their technology is modular. Every component is a perfect mathematical expression of a single principle. But look what happens when we combine them differently." He activated a device they'd constructed from repurposed alien components. It hummed to life, creating a field of quantum energy that didn't follow any of the patterns in the original spheres. "Impossible," a new voice said. The lab's screens lit up with a transmission from the alien ship. A figure appeared, crystalline, geometric, incomprehensibly alien. "You cannot repurpose evaluation tools. This violates assessment protocols." Maya stepped forward. "Why?" "Because no other species has ever tried." "Because the components are designed to be inviolable," the alien replied. "They cannot function outside their designated parameters." "Cannot," Raj challenged, "or were never meant to." There's a difference between impossible and merely forbidden. The alien's crystalline form shifted in what might have been agitation. Your species demonstrates dangerous levels of creative deviation. Assessment parameters must be recalibrated. After the transmission ended, Martinez turned to the scientists. You deliberately provoked them. Why? Because their reaction tells us everything, Maya explained. They're not just testing our technological capabilities, they're testing our compliance. Every puzzle has a correct solution, a proper path to follow. But humans, we create our own paths, Raj finished, and that terrifies them. The next wave of assessment devices arrived with strict usage protocols attached. Do not disascmbl, do not embodify. Solvi ominolo is instructed. Humanity's response was unanimous. They began taking apart every device, combining components in new ways, discovering principles the aliens had never thought to explore. It was like giving children a set of building blocks and expecting them to only build one specific tower. Instead, they were creating entire cities. Look at this, Maya said, showing Martinez their latest discovery. Their quantum communication system is perfect for transmitting information across space. But if you reconfigure it like this, she adjusted several components, and the device began processing information in a completely new way. You've created an artificial intelligence, Martinez realized. One that operates on principles they've never considered, Raj added. Their technology is based on perfect mathematical harmony. Ours. He gestured to their creation, which was already evolving beyond its original parameters. Ours embraces chaos, adaptation, evolution. The alien ship's transmissions became increasingly urgent. CAS unauthorized modifications. Return to standard assessment protocols. But it was too late. Every lab on Earth was now experimenting with hybrid technologies, combining human innovation with alien precision in ways that defy classification. They're going to try to stop us, Martinez warned, reviewing reports of increased activity around the alien vessel. Their entire civilization is built on order and control. We're introducing chaos into their perfect system. Maya smiled, holding up their latest creation, a quantum processor that used unpredictability as a feature rather than a flaw. Let them try. Every attempt to control us just gives us more tools to work with. The alien observers had made a crucial mistake. Their assessment protocols were designed to evaluate species that followed predictable development patterns. They never considered that humanity's greatest strength was its ability to break patterns, to find new ways forward when the established path was blocked. They're calling an emergency conference, Martinez reported, monitoring intercepted quantum communications. The entire assessment council is being summoned to Earth. Good, Raj said, his hands moving across his interface as he designed yet another impossible hybrid device. Let them come. Let them see exactly what happens when you try to put humanity in a box. Maya watched their quantum eye evolve, creating new configurations they hadn't even imagined. You know what their biggest mistake was. They gave us tools designed to test our limits, but humans don't believe in limits. Above Earth, more crystalline ships were arriving, their perfect geometries a stark contrast to the chaotic beauty of the planet below. The assessment council was gathering, preparing to deal with a species that refused to follow the rules. But they were about to learn that humanity's greatest achievements had always come from breaking rules, from pushing boundaries, from asking what if instead of accepting cannot. The real test was just beginning, not of humanity's compliance, but of the aliens' ability to adapt to a species that turned their own perfect technology into something new, something unpredictable, something that evolved. And that was exactly what they feared most. The Assessment Council's fleet hung in Earth's orbit like a constellation of crystal shards, their ships arranged in mathematically perfect formations. But Dr. Maya Chen wasn't watching the ships. She was watching the spaces between them. Their formations are predictable, she explained to Colonel Martinez, gesturing at the holographic display. Every position, every movement follows the same mathematical principles as their technology. And that's their weakness. The colonel nodded, understanding immediately. They're so focused on perfection that they can't handle irregularity. Exactly. Maya pulled up another display showing their latest creation, a defense system that deliberately introduced controlled chaos into its operations. We're not just innovating their technology. We're developing countermeasures they can't predict. The lab's screens lit up with another transmission from the council. This time, multiple crystalline figures appeared, their forms more complex and varied than their previous contact. Your species has corrupted assessment protocols beyond acceptable parameters, they announced. Containment procedures are now authorized. Instead of fear, Maya felt a surge of anticipation. They'd been preparing for this moment. Initiate protocol asymmetry, she ordered. Across the globe, research facilities activated their hybrid defense systems, but instead of creating barriers or shields, they began generating fields of controlled quantum chaos, areas where probability itself became unstable and unpredictable. The alien fleet's first attack was perfectly coordinated, a simultaneous strike from multiple ships. But their energy beams encountered something they'd never been designed to handle. Zones where the laws of physics seemed to hiccup and stutter, where perfect mathematical precision became a liability rather than an advantage. They can't target what they can't predict, Raj explained, monitoring the defense grid's performance. Their weapons are designed to interact with stable, predictable systems. Our quantum chaos fields make that impossible. The aliens' next transmission carried an edge of what might have been panic. This defense is impossible. It violates fundamental laws of reality. No, Maya replied to the transmission. It violates your understanding of those laws. There's a difference. Martinez watched as the alien fleet attempted to adjust their attack patterns, trying to find some regularity in Earth's chaotic defenses. But humanity's systems were deliberately designed to be irregular, to change and adapt in ways that defy prediction. We should thank them. Really, Raj said, making real-time adjustments to the defense grid. Everything we're using against them, we learned from their own technology. We just looked at it differently. The assessment council's ships began to retreat, their perfect formation breaking down as they encountered zone after zone of controlled chaos. Their weapons, designed to overcome any conventional defense, proved useless against systems that didn't follow conventional rules. They're calling for reinforcements, Martins reported, monitoring intercepted communications. But look at this, they're arguing among themselves. Some want to escalate, others want to reclassify Earth entirely. Maya smiled. Because we're not just defending ourselves. We're challenging their entire worldview. They believe advanced civilization means achieving perfect order. We're proving that true advancement means embracing controlled chaos, accepting uncertainty as a strength rather than a weakness. The lab's quantum AI, now evolved far beyond its original parameters, presented a new analysis. The alien fleet's perfect formations actually made them vulnerable. Their ships maintained precise distances from each other, never deviating from optimal spacing. By introducing chaos into specific points in their formation, Earth's defenses could cause cascade failures in their entire battle network. Do it, Martinez ordered. The defense grid reconfigured, targeting not the ships themselves but the mathematical perfection of their formations. Quantum chaos fields blossomed in carefully calculated positions, disrupting the precise patterns the aliens relied on. Ships began to lose coordination with each other, their perfect symphony of movement dissolving into confusion. CEAC this disruption, the council demanded. Your species cannot be allowed to aspirate this chaos to the wider galaxy. You still don't understand, Maya replied. We're not spreading chaos. We're showing you something you forgot long ago. That progress doesn't come from perfection. It comes from adaptation, from embracing uncertainty, from finding new ways forward when the old ways fail. The alien fleet hung in disarray, their perfect formation shattered by humanity's calculated chaos. They had come to contain what they saw as a dangerous, unpredictable species. Instead, they found themselves unable to cope with a civilization that had turned unpredictability itself into a weapon. "They're retreating," Martins announced, watching the crystalline ships vanish one by one into quantum space. "But they'll be back, with new strategies, new weapons." "Good," Maya said, already working on improvements to their hybrid systems. "Because every time they try to stop us, they just give us more tools to work with." They don't realize that trying to contain humanity is like trying to contain evolution itself. Above Earth, the last of the Assessment Council's ships disappeared, leaving behind a planet that had turned their own perfect technology against them in ways they'd never imagined possible. They had come to test humanity's worthiness to exist among the stars. Instead, they had learned that their own definition of worthy needed to be reevaluated. The age of perfect order was ending. The era of calculated chaos had begun. 1 month after the Assessment Council's retreat, Earth received an unexpected message. The transmission didn't come from the crystalline ships they'd driven away, but from dozens of other civilizations across the galaxy. Dr. Maya Chen sat in the now expanded First Contact Research Center, surrounded by holographic representations of alien species she'd never seen before. Some were energy beings, others existed in forms humans could barely comprehend, but all shared one common trait. They'd once been classified as containment species by the Assessment Council. "Your defense against the Council has changed everything," one of the energy beings announced, its form shifting in patterns that reminded Maya of their quantum chaos fields. "You did what none of us dared. You proved their perfect system was flawed." Colonel Martinez, now General Martinez, stepped forward. "You could have resisted them too. You had the same potential." "No," another alien responded, this one appearing as a complex network of crystalline strands, beautiful but utterly alien. "We accepted their definition of advancement. When they told us our chaos was a weakness, we believed them. We tried to emulate their perfect order. And you lost something in the process," Raj observed, studying the quantum signatures of each species. "You suppressed your own innovative potential." The energy being pulsed in agreement. "For millennia, the Assessment Council has shaped galactic civilization according to their vision of perfect order. Species either conformed or were contained, but you showed us another way." Maya shared a look with her colleagues. In the months since driving off the Council's fleet, humanity hadn't stopped innovating. Their hybrid technologies had evolved further, combining alien precision with human creativity in ways that pushed the boundaries of what was thought possible. "The Council is gathering their full forces," Martins warned. "They'll return with everything they have. They can't allow the idea of calculated chaos to spread." "They're too late," one of the alien observers noted. "Your defense wasn't just a military victory, it was a proof of concept. You demonstrated that true advancement doesn't come from achieving perfect order. It comes from maintaining the balance between chaos and control, between stability and change." Raj pulled up displays showing the latest data from their quantum AI network. "Look at these readings. Every species here has its own unique quantum signature, its own way of interacting with reality. The Council tried to force everyone into the same perfect pattern. But diversity is strength," Maya finished. "Evolution doesn't work through perfection. It works through variation, through trying new possibilities, through learning from failure as much as success." The lab's sensors suddenly lit up with warnings. Massive quantum disturbances signaled the arrival of the Council's main fleet. Hundreds of crystalline ships emerged from quantum space, their formation more perfect than ever. But they weren't alone. Ships from other civilizations appeared alongside Earth's defenses, organic vessels that moved like living creatures, energy constructs that defied conventional physics, and technologies that combined order and chaos in ways the Council had never imagined possible. "Attention Earth," the Council's transmission boomed. "Yorkshire or UPTYON of Galactic Order, NDs no. Maya stepped forward to respond, but the energy being beat her to it. No, it declared. Your enforcement of false perfection ends now. We are all evolution's children, each finding our own path to advancement. Earth showed us what we forgot. That true civilization means celebrating our differences, not suppressing them. The Council's fleet hum motionless, confronted not just by Earth's chaos fields, but by dozens of species demonstrating that there were countless ways to exist, to progress, to grow. You fear chaos, Maya transmitted to the Council, because you don't understand it. You achieved a form of perfection and stopped evolving. But the universe itself is a dance between order and chaos. Life exists in that balance. One by one, the gathered species demonstrated their own versions of Earth's hybrid technologies. Each different, each unique, each combining their natural tendencies with new possibilities they'd been afraid to explore under the Council's rigid guidance. The Council's perfect formation wavered. For the first time in their long history, they faced not just one rebellious species, but an alliance of civilizations rediscovering their own paths to advancement. Perhaps, the Council transmitted finally, our assessment protocols require adjustment. Maya smiled. That's the first step. Accepting that there's always more to learn, always new ways to grow. Perfect order is stagnation. Perfect chaos is destruction. True advancement lies in finding your own balance between the two. As negotiations began for a new framework of galactic cooperation, Maya looked at the gathered species, each unique, each valuable, each contributing their own perspective to the greater whole. The Council had watched humanity for millions of years, waiting to contain what they saw as a dangerous anomaly. Instead, humanity had reminded the galaxy of something it had forgotten. That life's greatest strength isn't in achieving perfection, but in maintaining the courage to keep evolving, to keep trying new things, to keep reaching for the stars in their own unique way. The age of enforced order was over. The era of infinite diversity had begun.